with the person.
Yeah, and I could,
Contact person who knows about that initiative.
and they're like, yeah, I know, I thought it was your folks had made it. Yeah, I know. I look at me some fantastic they're supposed to be podcast. Tell stories. I'm okay. I love all the new formats.
This chair's- All right, ladies and gentlemen, if I may have your attention, I'd like to call the meeting to order. This is the regular board meeting of the Board of Trustees of Tarrant County College, September 20th, 2018. Are there any public comments, Mr. Gates? No, thank you. I would ask the board's approval of the minutes of August 16th, 2018. Motion to approve, please. Dr. Evans. Second, Dr. Patrick. Any comments, questions? All those in favor, aye. Aye. Motion approved. Trustee reports. Who wants to start? Anybody? Dr. Morrison? Oh, Dr. Evans?
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I had the opportunity to participate in this year's 2018 Men of Color Collaborative on Southeast Campus, and it was very well done. And from what I'm hearing from friends and colleagues and others in the community, it was very well done on all of our campuses. So I would like to just commend our leadership for making this particular issue matter one of, well, understanding that it's one of key importance to so many of us. And it was just very well done. And the particular event that I was a part of at Southeast Campus was very well attended. And we also had buy-in from the local high schools as well. So again, hats off to leadership, to you as well, Chancellor, to help us to make sure that this is something that we keep out in the forefront. So thank you very much, and it was good to be a part of that.
Going and representing us.
All right.
Mr. Greenhill?
I have a couple of things to report. The first one is that the college hosted a luncheon for our legislative delegation yesterday in the Trinity Point Room. It was also a CCATT event, CAT event, Community College Association of Texas Trustees, of which I'm the chair this year. But we had our luncheon. Roberto Zarate from Alamo Colleges was there. Trustee Heed was there, and I was there, of course, as well as the Chancellor, Reginald Gates, Kelly Mills, and Maria. And as a thank you all for the staff for a job well done pulling this thing together. It was a really good event. We had a good attendance of from the legislators and their district directors. basically, and also the Chancellor, of course, made an outstanding presentation about Tarrant County College and what we do, and the impact that we have on our community and outside of our community. He started out with the video. I think you've all seen it, of what would you do without Tarrant County College, and it's very, very impressive. I mean, it's stunning. You know, the fireman comes out, and the nurse, and so forth and so on. It was a really a marvelous event. We had a very good informal conversation. Just kind of went around the room, and I won't. Conrad's not here, but we went around the room and asked each representative and our district director what was in their interest, what concerns, and we started having a conversation about dual credit. There's a lot of issues in regard to dual credit. And Rose Martinez, the Director of Trustee Strategies, was also there, of the CAATT, Director of Trustee Strategies, and she made a presentation about the legislative priorities that we have for this legislative session coming up. CCATT and the Teachers Organization and the professional organization, the trustee, well, whatever it is, TACC, we put together a joint legislative priority list, and we were able to do that. Then after that, Roberto Zarate and I and Conrad Heed, Trustee Heed, went to the retreat for the Lawyers Association of the lawyers who represent represent community colleges, and we talked to them about how lawyers can help us. And I just wanted to make one shout out. I was pretty anxious, and I know we do this on all of our campuses, but when I was going down the hall to the point, it was the the employer career cluster Trinity River Campus 2018 job. Fair job. I know we do this on all of our campuses. But anyway, I was just going down the hall, and I was kind of anxious, and I said, well, I'm not anxious anymore because this is what it's all about. And I met with Miss Daphne Brookins and Scavignon Graham, who are with our Workforce Solutions of Tarrant County, Louise, and they were I was very glad to see them. It just really it makes me very enthusiastic about what I do when I see things like this. I know they go on all the campuses, but it really excites me to see what we're doing. My final report is that I went to Austin last week to testify before the Texas Legislative Budget Board. To make I made a presentation with the TACC representative, CEO. His name is Jacob Ferrar, and Rose Martinez, and the president of Sanjac. We all testified before this committee, and we gave them what our asks are. That's my report.
Thank you. Dr. Morrison?
Good evening. Thank you. Let me say that I began the morning today meeting with other elected officials, community leaders, and the executive staff of Forward Housing Solutions to get an update on the work with the Calvo Place and Butler Housing. And I want to thank the Chancellor and other TCC staff for the collaborations in the efforts to provide educational opportunities for the housing clients in developing stackable certificates, which can lead to, my goal would be completion of the AA degree and then further them on not only their education journey, but their work career journey. So I want to thank you for that. And I was very pleased with what I heard. And as always, the question I asked was, we've got some great things for people who've done most things right. What about how we're going to help the people who've done most things wrong to this point? How can we help them turn their lives around? And I believe that education is key. So I want to thank the CIE staff and all TCC staff for your efforts in doing that. And I also want to ask you to save the date, Thursday, October the 18th, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., the annual intergenerational community conversation will be hosted on the TCC South Campus. And Mr. Andrew Duffield and a district-wide committee is working very diligently to have a deep dive, engaging conversation this year. So I'm looking forward to it, and I hope we'll have great participation throughout the district. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello, you're just in time. You wanted to catch your breath, and I'll call on Dr. Patrick. Do you have anything to report, Ms. Soyala?
Yes, thank you. Just to talk a little bit further about the Men of Color, I had an opportunity to welcome folks at the summit that was held last Friday. And the summit was a culmination of the week of a focus on the Men of Color program. So one of the things that we talked about was that with the college goals that we've just recently implemented, especially with being student-ready focus, along with pathways, and then also with the Men of Color Intercultural Network, where we're expanding that program, hearing from the participants and also some of the speakers, I hear that the week was actually a refreshing departure from traditional conversations that have been had over the years about diversity. And really the focus was more on, understanding, collaboration, learning, reflection, and just engagement altogether. So I wanted to congratulate everyone that was involved and thank everyone that was involved. We appreciate the support from the Chancellor. Also, thank you to Dr. Madison for hosting. It was a wonderful event. And just hearing some of the comments, I think that everyone was really pleased with the overall performance and the substance that was given during the week. So thanks again.
Thank you. Mr. Heath? Is it still raining out there?
It's raining and accidents. It's unbelievable. I took Waze, and I've been to places in Fort Worth I've never been before. I'm telling you.
But you made it. Not too late either.
I made it. Well, I know Bill commented on our legislative meeting, our CAT meeting. That was, I think, very, very well received by the legislators there. We had a very good and frank discussion, I think, and I think it went very well. And then yesterday afternoon, we had a foundation meeting. Among other things, we welcomed 4 new members, 3 of which were there. And I was very impressed that all 3 that were there immediately started participating in the meeting, and I thought that was very positive for the future of the foundation. And we discussed a very interesting program. I don't think we want to announce it right now, but we're looking into a very exciting program that the Chancellor brought that addresses the issue of poverty and how we can work together with various groups in the city to address that and participate through education and training as well. So that was good. It was the first meeting of the year, and I think we're going to have an interesting year ahead. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, this is a test question. Who knows what the official insect of Texas is? No, you can't play. You already know. And you can't play either. And you can't play because you were there when we all learned it to our astonishment. It's the monarch butterfly. And several of us, those that I've denied their participation in this quiz, were with us this morning, and we heard the most interesting presentation on efforts being made throughout the state to protect and preserve and perpetuate the monarch butterfly. Apparently they're in great dire straits, and they showed us charts as to how they were diminishing in number. And it was called the Mayor's Summit, and there were several mayors there and county commissioners, and it was quite an interesting gathering. Thank you, Dr. Jordan, for hosting it. And the take-home party favor was a tiny little envelope, and when you opened it, there was a monarch inside. And this is the next generation of monarch protectors. I took 4 to 2 special little 3-year-olds, and 2 of them just flew away, but 2 stayed and spent a little bit of the afternoon with them. But they are beautiful creatures, and I had no idea they were in such terrible straits. But you'll be hearing more and more about it because several of the mayors who were on the panel got into kind of a fun competition about who was going to be the lead city on number of monarchs. And, you know, I'm new around here. I didn't realize we have monarch sanctuaries on all of our campuses, or most of them. So live and learn. Thanks to all of you who are doing that, and if you want some in your backyard, plant milkweed. All right, I think that's it. Thank you. The consent agenda has 2 items on it. I would ask approval of the consideration and approval of the continuing education tuition and fees, and you all got a big fat notebook of those. And then the consideration and approval of faculty promotions and rank recommendation. Motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions or comments? The motion was Dr. Patrick, and the second, Ms. Ayala. All those in favor, aye. Any opposed? Item passes. Item number 6, consideration and approval of contract with Ayers St. Gross to provide district educational leadership in the amount of $512,510.95. Mrs. Petty.
Yes, good evening. This item tonight is a continuation of the work that we did on the visioning and critical needs plannings back in 2017, and it produced our 3 goals and our 8 principles. Champions and advisory panels have been established, and the work is continuing, and we're very excited about this. This is work that is being directed out of the Chancellor's office, and my team is helping assist in the managing of this contract. This is also important because our Southern Association of Colleges and Schools, our accrediting agency, believes this is very important and recommends that we do provide them a master plan and an overarching plan for the college every 5 years. So this is a requirement that we deal with. So the scope of this work is going to be more detailed services around including alignment with the principals across the district, and we hope you approve this important work tonight.
Again, we had a governance committee meeting at which time we saw all of the documents and substantiating data on each of these items that we're voting on tonight. So I would ask for a motion to approve.
I'll move to approve.
Mr. Heed, and a second by Dr. Evans. Any additional questions or concerns about this particular item from the board? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, consideration and approval of contract with JQ Engineering to provide structural engineering consulting services for Northwest Campus, CEATL Welding Lab Renovation in the amount of $149,020. Motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Mr. Heed, seconded Dr. Evans. Mrs. Petty, review it a little bit.
Sure, and real estate and facilities is really facilitating and helping this work for our academic focus, and it's really a great example of a one college approach. We are doing welding on 3 campuses at our Opportunity Center, at our South Campus, and at our Northwest Campus, and this is a new form of welding, so this would greatly benefit the students in regard to industry demands and needs. And this is the cost of the work to actually do the welding lab renovation.
Any questions, comments? All those in favor, aye.
Well, I have a question.
Any opposed? Oh,
I just have a quick question.
okay.
So is that welding lab unique to the district?
I'm sorry, is it
Will that welding lab be unique to the district?
unique? Yes, it will be. This absolutely will be unique.
And so will the students in the other locations be able to have the benefit of that unique training, or is that a separate and individualized
That would probably be
course?
a provost question, and I'm sure Dr. LeBlanc might be able to answer it, but in your notes, there's a little bit about the need of this and why this specific new form of welding is important. and it's in high demand not only in the Metroplex, but throughout the state. And we're currently teaching courses in this field, and enrollment has sustained high levels. And this, again, would greatly benefit all our students, specifically in regard to how the students would go from campus to campus and be able to enjoy this. I think Dr. LeBlanc would be able to answer it better than me.
Thank you. Thank you for that question. Actually, originally, the welding that was there was connected to aviation and avionics. And this is expanding the utilization of those welding labs for other endeavors. So in addition to welding for construction and such as that, you know that people take welding for art and other endeavors. But it will not exclude anyone from having access to that kind of training.
Okay. Thank you.
Other questions or comments? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, consideration and approval of contract with Chambers Engineering for Northeast Campus Health and Physical Education Building restroom modifications in the amount of $118,438.49. Motion to approve.
I'll move to approve.
Mr. Heed,
I'll second it.
with, seconded by Ms. Ayala.
I think they're cutting up on that end of the,
I'm trying to
Board
ignore
member.
them.
okay.
Mrs. Petty, would you like to bring us back to order?
I will try. Okay, this is at our Northeast campus, and it's a compliance issue, and we periodically deal with these sort of compliance issues when concerns arise with either our staff or our students, or HR brings it to the attention. But this is a restroom at our Northeast campus that really does need to be modified, and the current layout does not allow for a student in a wheelchair to utilize the space. So it's actually recreating a pathway and a separate unisex bathroom. So it's important work.
Any questions? Oh, I have a motion and a second. Right. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9, consideration and approval of contract with Texas Refrigeration for purchase and installation of Northwest Campus Cooling Tower number 3 in the amount of $323,388.85. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Mr. Greenhill.
I'll second it.
Second, Ms. Ayala. Mrs. Petty.
Yes, this is a part of our ongoing infrastructure work that we've talked to you about ongoing, and this has been on the plate to do this. We really need this plant updated, and it's an industry standard, and we're hoping that you will approve it so our Northwest campus can stay cool.
Stay cool. Any questions, comments? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 10, consideration and approval of contract with Facility Solution Group for installation exterior lighting equipment on Southeast Campus in the amount of $189,433.18. Motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Motion by Mr. Heed, second Dr. Evans. Questions? Or Ms. Petty, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sure. So in your summary information, there's a lot of information about this, and of course these are replacing exterior lighting system at the Southeast campus that was installed prior to 1993, and it really needs to be updated. There's new technology will provide better lighting levels, energy costs, and reduced maintenance. And it's on part of our ongoing infrastructure plan that you've seen in the past. So this was expected to be done.
Questions, comments? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 11, consideration and approval of contract with Nouveau Construction and Technology Services for installation of Code Blue system equipment on Trinity River campus in the amount of $931,415. Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Mr. Heed. Second by Dr. Evans. Mrs. Petty.
This is part of our ongoing Code Blue phone initiative, and it sort of seems like this never stops, and it never does, because it's important to keep us safe and secure in this day and time. This is for a total of 31 locations at the Trinity River exterior. So it includes some of the telephones, but mostly exterior infrastructure work to make the phones functional. So it's It's important work outside.
Questions, comments?
Yeah, how are we coming with the whole installation of Code Blue?
I think we're keeping up with this, and this was just an area that we hadn't really addressed yet that needs to be covered because it's outside and it's along the trail at Trinity River. But we're keeping up with it, and I'm not sure where we are, but again, it's sort of ongoing, so we'll continue to refresh it and make sure it's up to date at all the campuses. We're clipping through it pretty well.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions or comments? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion, any opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Petty?
Yes.
Going back to item number 6, there was an error in the date of completion.
Yes, I thought that got.
Was that corrected?
It got
in-
corrected, whether it
Okay.
made it into my book or your book, but I do know it
Okay,
did make it
thank you.
corrected, yes, thank you.
All right, thank
And
you.
thank you for catching that.
Well, once in a while.
Thank you very much.
All right. Dr. McClendon?
Mr. Vick will be joining us.
Ah, you're not Dr. McClendon. We're glad to have you, Mr. Vick.
Thank you. I'm Stan Vick. I'm the Director of Accounting, and both Dr. McClendon and Nancy Chang are out of town. So it is my privilege to share our August financial information with you tonight. You all know that August is our fiscal year end, so this will represent a quick look at the unaudited results of the year. The Finance Department continues to work on year-end entries, and the external auditors, Weaver, have been on site for almost 2 weeks now, and they typically will complete our audit early to mid-November. So this financial data is our 12-month picture prior to any year-end entries. And year-to-date revenue was $357.7 million, which is 100.5% of our budget, and compared to expenses of $318.9 million, which comes in at 89.6% of our budget.
Why is it the expense is so much lower at this point?
The largest part of that is in unspent contingency funds. That is the biggest. That's close to $10 million. There's other smaller parts, but that's the largest amount.
Okay. How will that reflect on next year's, when we see this next month? Are we going to expend those?
Well, it doesn't roll, if that's
Doesn't
your
roll.
question. I can't answer whether that will be spent next year. That would be up to
That would be a
the-
good question to have once we have our books closed,
Yeah.
and then you get a full picture.
Okay.
Yeah, and these numbers will change. This is unaudited. We're still working on year-end numbers, but this is a quick look at where we were when we produced these a few days ago.
Okay, thank you.
So moving on to the investments. Our pool funds decreased by $24.6 million. And a couple of lines under that, you will see we did purchase $10 million of a Federal Home Loan Bank security. It is yielding 2.653%, and it's got a 2-year maturity. So our total portfolio decreased by $14.2 million during August, bringing us to a balance of $317.4 million. Our yield through the end of August is 1.88%. And with the purchase of the security mentioned above, it brings our WAM to 379 days. That was up from 355 last month. Any questions?
I have one question. When you say, on the other slide, unrealized funds, what do you mean by that? Unrealized income?
Well, in this case, it's over realized income. We received more than was budgeted. Throughout the year, that is not the situation, and I didn't change the term for the end of the year. Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vick. All right, Chancellor.
Thank you, Mrs. Appleman. want to just talk just a couple theme-wise related to events, but call out specifically the Chancellor's Breakfast on August 17th that really I have little to take credit for. It's just my name on it. And what I want to speak to is how successful it was. But I want to take you back as to how we got where we were on that 17th. About a year and a half ago, we began a process to looking at visioning of the organization and asked the question why, and the why produced the 3 goals. And then based upon the why, we began to ask the what, and the what produced the 8 principles. And now we're in the how. How are we going to address it? And the Chancellor's Breakfast was a great indication of the progress that we've made. All the presentations were done by the staff, faculty and staff that are engaged in the process, various breakout groups. We really showed how we are advancing and operationalizing the goals, if you will, to moving them into being institutionalized as one college. And the thinking and the broadening of the understanding and the concepts of what we're trying to do were quite evident. So that was a great success. And I want to thank everyone that was involved with that. I know there's a lot of work that went into it, but it was quite impressive. Related to that, and next month we'll share probably in governance a little bit of a broader status report where we are with all of that work. But related to that, we're involved in the American Association Community College Pathways 2.0 project, and we had a session last week, about 8 or 10 of us, in that project meeting out of town with 10 other colleges that are in the project as well. And the highlight there are many highlights of that, but probably the best highlight was the coaches telling us that we have made the most progress of any of the 10 colleges involved in the project. Ironically, we didn't always follow the coaches' coaching. And because there were some things we said, this just doesn't seem right, doesn't fit us. You're a consultant, that's fine, but we're going to do things the way we think we do. And as a result, I think that's why we've made the most progress, and I could go into detail, but I won't. And ironically, some of the challenges that the other colleges had were following all of that coaching. So a little bit of gloating here, but anyway, we did. No, it's not. It's everybody's work. But so the Pathways is very, very much connected to the principles. It's interwoven. So this is very like activity. So quite pleasing. The last thing that I just want to touch on briefly, and there's a couple of my activities in here that speak to that. More and more in my engagement in the community, I'm beginning to see a real, a greater awareness of what we do, understanding what we do, and more importantly, an awareness and understanding of the challenges and barriers that our students have. And Mr. Heed referenced one of the programs that we're looking to continuing that helps do that. But more and more we're getting attention throughout the community related to our value. And as a result, people are wanting to know what is it that the barriers and the challenges that you do have in delivering on that value. So that is encouraging from an organization for me, I think for the organization to experience that type of attention of greater attention that we're receiving in the community than perhaps previously. So thank you.
When I first met Guhan Ragu, I said to him in the presence of the Chancellor, "Oh, I'll never forget your last name. It's my favorite spaghetti sauce." At which point, my Italian Chancellor, I thought he was going to fire me on the spot. He makes all of his own spaghetti sauce. So, Guhan, I'm still not going to forget your name. We wish you well in your new ventures, and we hope you'll stay in touch with us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And we welcome home Dr. Fulkerson. We're glad you're where you are. And I'm going to call us into closed session for deliberation of real property, Section 551.072 of the Texas Government Code. Deliberation on personnel matters, Section 551.074 Texas Government Code. Consultation with attorneys, Section 551.071 Texas Government Code. And deliberation regarding the deployment of or specific occasions for implementation of security personnel or devices, Section 551.076. We do not anticipate that it will be a long meeting. You're welcome to stay. Otherwise, good night, and we'll see you in October. All right, I would like to call the board to order, and we have a motion to present. Mr. Heed?
Yes, I'd like to make the motion to authorize the Chancellor to negotiate the sale of a certain piece of property on the Northeast campus.
Second?
I'll second it. Go ahead.
Dr. Evans, seconded by Dr. Evans. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you for
All right.
joining us.